Well, hello and welcome. Welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host, and I'm excited to be back with you again today. You know, Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of consistency that says motivation gets you going, but discipline keeps you going and growing. See, you have to develop the good habits that lead to success. Now, just showing up is 80% of success. See, some people just don't show up. So you can beat pretty much anybody out easily by just consistently showing up. You know, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, once said, a time comes when you need to stop waiting for the man or woman you want to become and start being the man or woman you want to be. So tonight, folks, we have another dynamic leader with us who has been consistently showing up. You know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of our guests. So let me properly introduce to you our guests, Miss Dawn Brummel. How are you doing today?
I am doing great, and thank you for having me.
Well, awesome. I'm excited to have you on the show. So let me introduce you to introduce our audience to you. So Dawn Brummel is a coach, a mentor, and a speaker with a passion for leading people to discover and develop their strengths to their maximum potential. She brings experience in executive leadership, youth and parent training, and group and individual growth coaching. Dawn has been married to Ken for 32 years. Talking about consistency, folks. 32 years. They have 5 children: Joanna, Jenna Lee, Julia, Jalissa, and Joshua. And they have, get this, 12 grandchildren. Um, so in 2015, Dawn finished homeschooling after teaching all 5 of her children from elementary through high school graduation. In 2016, she and Ken decided to just pack up and leave the area and get outside of their comfort zone. Now, this is an area that they lived in for 20 plus years. And they moved to a smaller town to minister a different church. See, these changes forced a whole new thought process, folks. Gone was the comfort zone of teaching the kids every day, doing ministry the same way, enjoying the same circle of friends, and keeping the same schedule. Dawn wanted something new, different, exciting, and she began to evaluate how she would use the rest of her life and make it count for eternity. Now, Dawn has counseled and led women's ministry in her church for many years and loved adding value to people and watching them take their next steps. She joined the John Maxwell team late in 2017 with the goal of eventually working full time in coaching, training, and speaking. And then, August of 2021, she officially resigned her comfort zone position of executive director at the Chamber of Commerce, and she is now working toward achieving her goal and living out her passion. So let's welcome again Miss Dawn Brummel to the show. I'm excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm excited too.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, you know, I read your bio and to help introduce our audience to you. However, our audience normally like to hear directly from you. You know, your journey to leadership and what brought you to where you are today.
Well, I believe leadership was that my leadership journey started when I was probably too young to know that a leader is what I was trying to become. I always wanted to be in charge and didn't like to be told by my peers what to do. I think everything was a competition to me in the sense that I needed to do better than everybody. Most of my efforts in these areas, I won't say most, but many of them, I think were rebuffed a little bit by teachers. Maybe I don't know if I turned them off or what it was, but as I don't know if they knew how to, at that point, take the character qualities that I had and mold me and make them positive. So as I grew older, those rebuffments, I don't know, is that a word, rebuffment? But
Today it is.
yeah, today it is. Well, that made me insecure. And I didn't think I had anything of value to add to others. Now, I'd always wanted to be in ministry from a very young age. So I wanted to marry someone in ministry. And God honored that desire and gave me a wonderful man to whom I've been married for 32 years. And I think now, as I look back, that um, though being married to someone in ministry would give me authority that I wanted to have, it really was positional authority. You know, it was positional leadership. And I think that because of my insecurity, at times I probably wasn't very teachable. You know, I kind of knew it all as the pastor's wife, you know. And I don't want to give the wrong impression. I didn't go around acting arrogant and like, don't tell me what to do or anything. But I think inwardly it was like, I got it, you know. Meanwhile, it may have been in a certain sense a put off to others at times with my attitude, because I don't think I was that teachable. But slowly God in his mercy and grace and with much patience, I think, has brought me along the way to a more teachable attitude. So by the time I found the John Maxwell team in 2017, I was ready to learn rapidly, have different goals. And I mean, like I said, I always wanted to help people and add value to people. I think I just had a different mindset about it. And I just think I wasn't the person I needed to be to accomplish that. Although I think I have made some impact on people through the years. My confidence, though, has slowly been built back up. But I will say it has a long way to go in this area.
Okay, all right. Well, we always like grace and mercy, right?
Oh, yes. I need it every
And
day.
yeah, and we also all learn. Sometimes when we're younger, we think a certain way, and as we gain more experience, notice I didn't say as we get older, as we gain more experience, we take a different approach and a different stance. And
Yeah.
yeah, so awesome. So tell us something interesting and fun about yourself.
Well, my husband and I share the same birthday,
Oh,
although he's
wow.
an old man. Although, I mean, he's really just 6 years older than I am, but I can
Okay.
always tease him that he's old.
Mhm.
I always said on his 6th birthday, something good happened. And he just didn't know it yet because I was born that day. But anyways, we enjoy celebrating together. And I had to find somebody who wouldn't forget my birthday.
Okay. Yeah, if he forgets your birthday, you know you have a problem.
Oh, yes. He hasn't yet. That's good.
That is awesome. So you recently made headline news with an announcement. So tell us about the decision to leave your 9 to 5 and run your business full time.
Well, it was a struggle to make that decision. I'm the executive director of Explore Waterford. It's a chamber Main Street organization. I originally began with one organization, and then the two organizations merged, a chamber and where I was working, to become Explore Waterford Chamber, and I became the executive director of the whole entity. I'm the only employee. And at a chamber, there's a ton of work. I love what I do. I still do it till the end of October. I love what I do, but I'm so busy with that. And I do a lot of volunteer work at my church. And I also, with my kids and grandkids, I want to invest time in them. And I just find that something had to go. And I really wanted to go this route full time. And so it was now or never. I'm not getting any younger, so I'm not old, because I think old is all in the mind,
Mhm. Yes.
and maybe in the creaks at times when I get up. But anyway, it was now or never. So I waited into a good time for the organization where there was a little bit of space there, so that I could resign and hopefully transition that next person in and help them get set up. I wasn't set up that way when I took the job, and I want to leave well. So I'm trying to do that by helping that next person get some footing on the ground before I'm
Awesome.
totally gone.
Awesome. So how difficult or easy was it for you to make that decision?
Well, I really love the job. I love the people. I love planning events, and we definitely have a lot of events. I love all that. So, and because I think I still struggle at times with, okay, so can I do this full time? Are people going to want to listen to me enough?
Mhm.
Can I make enough money to at least replace what I've been making? Uh, so it was a real struggle, but I had to get to a point and say, I'm doing it. So it was not easy, but
Mhm.
I just, in talking with my husband at some point and knowing what I really want to do, it's like now or never. So I did it. I resigned.
Took the plunge and went on ahead and did it. Well, awesome. So, as you start out on your journey, what do you think your business niche is?
So having raised 5 kids, and I love helping parents, and I also love uh, I put in there group coaching, group team leading. I love working with a team of people, regardless of whether it be uh, in a nonprofit organization or a corporate setting. I have not worked in a corporate setting, so I will not say that I'm going to target that,
Mhm.
because the mindset is a bit different. But I'm going to. I plan on working with parents and personal and teams and team growth.
Okay, all right. Um, being in the coaching, speaking, mentoring arena is fun. It can be fun, can be exciting, but you have peaks and valleys, right? Just like with anything. What do you think is going to separate your business from other people who are in the same industry?
Well, I honestly don't know yet. I'm still learning about the whole process and looking into how others run theirs. I will say that I have a strong foundation in Jesus Christ, and if I introduce people to Him as part of the process, it's not like I will go into any organization or any and push that
Mhm.
agenda.
Mhm.
I can pull back from that, but if in the process of building relationships, I can. Uh, Introduce them to Christ, I think that will make a difference in
Mhm.
the way I do things, but also I hope I come across as and not just that I don't just have a system for people to follow, that I have uh, a whole different approach than just a system, not just
Sure.
a cookie cutter approach.
Mhm.
I want to
Okay.
be different than that.
More customized for your
Yes.
particular needs. Yeah, that is awesome. So, what do you think? What would you say is the best part of owning your own business?
Oh, the flexibility with my kids and grandkids. Oh, I value flexibility and being able to set my schedule and make time, carve out the time for the people I love.
Well, yeah, flexibility is definitely one of those things that I love as well with business. What would you say has been one of the biggest challenges so far in this entrepreneurial journey?
Um, Definitely, I think that the doubting myself.
Mhm.
So getting past me, we're our own worst critic.
Right.
And I can be just so, on the one hand, I'm like, I can do this. I know I can do it. I know I can do it, until I
Mhm.
really think about, well, what do others think I can do? And then it's like I get caught up in the whole,
Mm.
well, the others aren't going to think that I have anything of value to say, or that, well, why would I ever listen to her? Or just any number of things. I can come up with a whole slew of excuses of why anybody shouldn't listen to me. So it's just getting over the whole doubts.
Yeah, get on our own fears. And it's amazing how we can talk ourselves into or out of anything, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
I always tell people it's not even that other people will doubt you. It's you doubting yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Taking that first step, right?
Well, I feel that there's been lots of times where others have had more confidence in me than I have in myself. So I'm like, well, I'm glad you think I can do it.
Yeah. And it's amazing, Don, that you talk about that, because think about with our own children, right? When they're in school, we tell, oh, you can do this, right? And they're doubting that they can do. No, you can do this, and then we give them all the reasons why they can do it, why they're going to be successful at it. But then when it comes to us, we don't even take our own advice.
Right. You're right. You're right. Yeah. I give myself a shot in the arm.
Yeah, exactly. So, Don, leaders come in all different types of packages with different strengths, right? So
Yes.
what give us 2 or 3 strengths that you feel are important to be a successful leader?
Well, I think one of them is to be teachable. And I certainly think, and I'm thankful that I think I've changed a lot in that area, because I think being teachable, if we're not teachable, how can we learn to be a better leader?
Hmm.
um, and I think, well, humility goes right along with that. Um, I think the I can do attitude, which I, as much as I doubt myself, like I said earlier, I can do this. I mean, but not letting that get in the way. So, and then definitely consistency. I think consistency in the whole process, and just continuing to follow the process is huge in being a leader.
Awesome. I like that. And from time to time, we will have entrepreneurs, a different type of entrepreneurs on, and they all have different strategies on how they started their business, right? And what do you think is one of the strategies, or not even what do you think? What is one of the strategies that you used to first market your business?
So I did a lot of personal invitations. I created a flyer and I gave it out, and it was word of mouth. Because I was starting some mastermind groups, and I've done several now, and they've been very rewarding. And so then after that personal invitation, a little bit of word of mouth, and I didn't run ads on Facebook, but I did put announcements on my personal Facebook page for groups that were open. And as far as like any personal coaching and mentoring as part of it, it's letting people know that I do it. And then I've had people ask me if I would.
Okay. All right. So, Dawn, let's say the kids are gone, the 12 grandchildren are gone, the husband's gone, the dogs, the cats, the fish, they all are gone. You're home by yourself. What dessert are you going to eat?
What dessert am I going to eat when
Yes.
no one's looking?
No one's looking. That's right.
Anything sweet. I love sugar, although I do limit it quite a bit. Wow. I love this one dessert called Mississippi Mud. And I can just eat that till it's going out of style. It's a mixture of graham crackers and pudding and cream cheese and Cool Whip. I mean, you can't go wrong
Yeah.
with that.
Okay. Mississippi mud. All
That's
right,
what we called
audience.
it.
Okay, audience, you guys go look that up and try it at home for yourself. So, um, give us one of your your favorite free time activities.
I like to bike. I sometimes, especially if I'm just like, oh, I got to get out of here. I just get on my bike and I just ride, but not really. We have some bike paths around here. So I like to bike and hike, and I do love to read. Um, I like planting flowers.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All
I love spending time with my family.
right.
Although
Okay.
none of them live near. So the times that I am with them, those are very precious because they all are out of state.
Wow. So when your kids grew up, they just left and went to a different state?
Well, I have 4 girls, and so basically who they married dictated where they ended
Oh,
up leaving, and none of their spouses are from around here. So, they're DC and Ohio and Indiana, and 2 in the Chicago area. So I'm thankful for those in the Chicago area because they're about an hour and a half away. That's the
okay.
closest. So yes.
Okay. All right. Um, well, it's amazing when kids grow up, and then they have their kids, and then all of a sudden you have to start competing with the other families, your in-laws, their in-laws family, right?
Right.
And competing with them, just trying to make their own in their own area
Yes.
for themselves. Yeah, it's always interesting. Um, so why do you think it's important for people to continue to grow?
Well, there's there's always something new to learn about the area that we think that we're proficient in, and we also need to learn about other areas. And I think if we don't continue to grow, I don't think that we can lead well. I just don't think that we become a well-rounded person, and I don't think we become all that God wants us to be.
Hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about that. Growth is extremely important. And why do you think people stop? When people go to school, they either graduate high school or they graduate college, right? And then they go, "Oh, that's it. I'm done growing." They don't verbally say that, right? But subconsciously, that's what they say. Well, why do you think people decide to just stop growing and they dig into whatever they're doing and that's it?
Well, I think we all get in our comfort zone, and we like our comfort zone. And within our comfort zone, we don't grow because we're comfortable and everything's just cushy. And even if we don't like our job, we don't like um, the situation that we're in, it's
Hmm.
still our comfort zone. And a lot
Yeah.
of times we just can't seem to kick ourselves out of our comfort zone. And I don't know that I don't know if people have the mindset coming out of high school, college, et cetera, that life is a learning process the entire way, that just because you're an adult doesn't mean that, and not just learn. Yes, of course, you got to learn how to do maybe something on your car, or learn little things here. They know they're going to learn in certain areas, but I think it's that learning about themselves, and learning about others, and that personal growth, that I think that they tend to just, a lot of people will tend to just stop. And I don't know, maybe they think they'll just acquire it because of their age, but it's much more than that.
Yes, absolutely. And we talked about you guys moving once your kids grew up and getting outside of your comfort zone. And then you just mentioned comfort zone again. And to the audience, comfort zone is characterized as doing the same thing in the same ways at the same time with the same people, expecting a different result. And you still
Yes.
asking the question, why haven't I changed? Why has my life not gotten better? Why has whatever it is? And when you find yourself asking that question, it's because you are in that comfort zone.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is the time that then you have to decide and start saying, what am I going to do to stretch myself? What am I going to do that's going to help me go from being stuck to growing?
Well, and
And
getting out of a comfort zone is an inconvenience, isn't it? Because we get stuck in our ways. And if we change that, it takes more time, it takes more energy, it takes, we know, something that's going to inconvenience us in our comfort zone.
yes, yes, absolutely. And when you said that, it reminded me of the law of the price tag, right? And the question is, are you willing to pay the price?
Yes.
Right? And audience, just so you know, Dawn and I are talking here, but price doesn't mean money. It could mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. It's time, energy, effort. Yeah, are you going to take the time to do the things you need to do to go to another level, whether that's in your financial life, whether that's in your Christian stewardship life, whether it's in your personal relationship, whether that's in your career, right? So you need to think through those things: time, energy, and effort. Yes, I know on Saturday noon, when everybody else is going to watch the football game, or on 4th of July when everybody else is going to pop fireworks, or whatever day it is, I know it's easier to do that. But it takes that person that wants to go to another level to say, I'm going to pass that up this time because I need to go take care of this over here because I'm going to a new level,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Well, and sometimes we fear in that whole process. It's we fear well, I do, we fear being rebuffed because we're trying to learn and make something better of ourselves, and others can be like, oh, you think you're,
Right. Yeah,
better
all
than
of that.
me.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't want that. So it's like, okay, I'll go.
Exactly. Yes, I know, audience, you want to feel like you're part of the crowd, right? And you want acceptance and everybody to like you. But let me tell you what, when you get on the other side of growth, guess what's going to happen? People who are going where you're going, they're going to be there with you. But the
Yes.
people who are staying right here, you're going to leave them behind. And I want you to understand something, folks. It is okay for you to leave some people behind. Everybody's not designed to take the journey with you. You see, Don, we say it all the time, right? There's a season for everything, right? But when it comes to our friends, we we forget about that saying, and sometimes we just have to go to another level. It doesn't mean you don't like that friend anymore. You're just going to different places.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Um, absolutely. So, what are one or two things, Dawn, that you've learned about yourself doing this journey of business ownership or entrepreneurship or being your own boss?
Well, one thing is certainly I need accountability. Uh, uh, I need someone, which goes hand in hand, I guess, with the second thing. I need someone to help me walk the journey, a coach for myself. I need someone that's going to, because I can doubt myself, because I can get caught up in um, things that maybe my time shouldn't be spent on, or just being lazy. So I need accountability. I need those deadlines, and to keep focused. So uh, I always think that I'm more disciplined than I really am. I don't know if everybody if they really get down to it, thinks that, but there are definitely um, hiccups because I'm not as disciplined as I think I am. So I certainly need that accountability. I'd say that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. Well, accountability is definitely important. And in fact, since you mentioned accountability, do you have a accountability coach, partner?
I don't yet. I haven't, well, no. I
Okay.
just
All
put
right.
it that way.
Okay. All right.
At
Well,
this point, my husband and I talking things through, but because I haven't gone full force yet,
mhm.
I haven't set that up yet with somebody else.
Yeah. Well, I have used accountability partners in the past, and having that, or I'll tell you, for our audience, really, really helps you because, yeah, you are your own adult. However, you know that you're going to have this conversation with your accountability partner. You're keeping them accountable. They're keeping you accountable. So it just gives you that extra boost to go a little bit farther, right? Um, that's why that's so important. So, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently um, as you started out your journey?
Well, I believe I would have started this earlier. So when I first joined the John Maxwell team, which gave me some of the training that I had wanted, I still delayed in really um, launching out and starting any groups of working with people. And I certainly would have started sooner, and I would have invested in other things even before that. And I read a lot, but I wasn't necessarily reading personal growth books. I certainly would have done more of that. And I would have also tried to get to know others more closely along the lines of the path that I wanted to go so that I could learn from others that were specifically doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 So, you know, Dawn, we have a segment on the show that's called Would You Rather? All right.
All
So we're going to play a round of Would You
right.
Rather? All right. So, an audience, you can participate in this as well just by typing your comments, typing your response in the comment section. Okay. So, would you rather meet your great grandparents or your great grandchildren?
Wow. That's a hard one. I'm going to say my great grandparents because I know very little about them. And my grandmother is 103, so I may get to meet my great grandchildren if I follow in her
You got that,
footsteps.
Gene. Yeah, yeah. I have a great my fourth great uncle lived to be 115. I said, I hope I got his
Wow,
genes. Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yes. So great grandparents. All right. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
I think at this point in my life, a pause because I think I am who I am. So if I rewound, I wouldn't be who I am.
Mhm.
And sometimes I just need it to pause and catch up and give me time to figure out the next step.
Okay. All right. All right. And remember, audience, type in your response in the comments. Would you rather have no one show up at your wedding or no one show up at your funeral?
Oh my goodness. Uh I suppose my funeral because I won't be there.
You
Although
won't know.
that surely wouldn't indicate what kind of person I was in life, was it? Would it? So I think back to. I guess I would change that to say my funeral, just because it indicates the kind of person the life I would have lived and the impact I had on others. And my dad passed away a number of years ago, and he was a quiet man, but such a faithful man. Everybody loved him. And I mean, the line, I was shocked. The line went out the door of the funeral home, up around out the sidewalk, down to the end, up the, the, the hill up past the funeral home. It was a huge line, hundreds of people that he had obviously impacted. And he was a maintenance mechanic at a lighting factory, but he had impacted many lives. So I guess
Wow.
I'd rather be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
It said a
Awesome.
lot to me as his daughter.
Yeah. Awesome. 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 So, would you rather go to dinner alone or go to a concert alone?
To dinner.
Dinner. All right.
Yes.
All right. All right. Now, would you rather be an adult your whole life or a kid your whole life?
Oh my goodness. I think I'd still rather be an adult. I think as a kid, yeah, I think I've enjoyed life more as an adult
Okay.
because I feel I can act like a kid.
All right. Would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think I would rather resolve my greatest regret.
Okay. All right.
And don't ask me what that is because I'm
Yeah.
not
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. I was about to say, hey, tell us about it. Oh. So, would you, a couple more here. Would you rather own your own private island or your own private jet?
Woo. I think my island.
Island?
Yes. Yeah. Somewhere to go, take the family to. Oh my, that would be great.
Yes.
Although I'd have to be able to pay the taxes on it and put
Yeah.
something nice on it. But
Yes.
island will be good.
Okay. All right. An island. Would you rather be a ninja or a pirate?
Ooh. I think I'd rather be a ninja.
A ninja. All right.
Yeah,
So
all those moves that they do.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yes.
you're gonna be able to throw that star and hit somebody in the throat.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel magical type with ninja. Pirating is a lot of work.
Yes. Last question. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or have $100,000 in real money?
Oh, real money.
Real money? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, see, I'm gonna take the Amazon gift cards, right? You're shopping on Amazon anyway. You can buy pretty much everything on Amazon. Um, and uh, and you have 12 grandchildren. They would
You're
love you.
right. Yeah, you're right. And honestly, I suppose then I would be when I have gift cards, I'm really picky. So maybe I should go with the Amazon gift cards because and when I have gift cards, I something like that, I would probably tend to buy gifts for everybody else. So I probably should go with the gift cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your grandkids would be like, Grammy,
Oh
I
yeah.
love you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They'd love me. I'd be their best grandmother.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Don, for playing that round of Would You Rather.
You're welcome.
Um, so let's keep going here. So, um, what would you say is the biggest thing you've learned? Well, I guess I need to ask you first. Do you have a mentor?
I have not one that I meet with face to face. I, with being in the John Maxwell team, I consider several of them my mentors that I listen to quite frequently. So yes.
Okay. All right. So then my question is, what's the biggest thing you've learned from one of your mentors in the last 6 months that we could benefit from?
So I'm not sure that I heard it for the first time. I don't think I've heard this for the first time, but really let it set in with me is that my mindset determines what my day is going to be like, how successful I'll be that day, how young I feel. It's about mindset, and I'm the one that sets my mindset. Others don't dictate my mindset. I react to what they may do or say, but I determine my mindset, and that I feel will determine my destiny in a sense. So mindset is extremely important.
Absolutely. Napoleon Hill talks about positive mental attitude. And in fact, just today, just this morning, it's amazing that you mentioned that. But just this morning, that was one of the things that I posted about this morning. And here's what here's what I posted. I said, a mind ill with negative attitudes is more dangerous than a sick body, for its sickness is always contagious, right? Associate with happy, positive, productive people. Your time is an asset to be managed more carefully than your money. Spend it with people who share your desire to succeed and your commitment to maintain a positive mental attitude, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, that makes all the difference in the world.
It does.
So, what would you say is the best thing that's happened to you so far this year? Now, outside of coming on Talk Leadership with Cedrick,
I was going to say that. Now you've pulled that away. Well, if it's a business question, then it would be resigning and moving on. But if it's a personal question, we have 2 new grandbabies and a new son-in-law this year, and that new son-in-law brought 4 children. So I've grown by 6 grandchildren this year. So my family has expanded quite a bit this year, and that has been great.
So you started the year with 6.
Yes.
And
Well, no, I actually started the year with 5 because I
okay,
consider that I have a grandchild. My daughter is due in December, and I still consider that a
right,
grandchild.
sure,
Just haven't seen that little one yet, but
yeah.
so I will have gained 7 from January to December this year.
Man, imagine if
I
you
know,
gain 7 more
explosion.
next year.
Yes. Well, I think the kids would be like, no, we can't keep up with this.
That's what we call the law of explosive growth.
Yes, yes. Now, if I can grow like that in my business, I will be like very happy
Uh,
percentage wise. I mean, you think
yeah,
about the percentages of that with 5 kids
absolutely.
and then or just I don't know,
Yeah.
that's great.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, all right. Awesome. Um, Now, you've had successes in your life, being executive director of the chamber, working with in your church, but we've also had times where we failed. So tell us about one failure that you had and the lesson that you learned from
So I can remember in my job when I first took uh, the position with the first organization that ended up merging to become what we are today. So within that first organization, one of my responsibilities was to uh, direct, be in charge of the Christmas parade, everything about it, basically organize the event. Well, my town that I had moved to, it's pretty small. I was since I was newer to the area, I didn't know all of the other annual main events that went on. In one particular year for the Christmas parade, the weather was horrid and we had to cancel. Well, we postponed it. The problem was, and I did have several. There were 3 of us, 4 of us there, and I don't know. The others obviously didn't know what other events there were in the area either. But we postponed it to a day and a time that conflicted with a huge high school event in the area. We publicized it, etc. It just caused major problems. We got a huge backlash. So there were students that had planned on being the parade that were at this event at the high school. They had to not then be in the parade. We had students that, excuse me, we had parents that then had to choose were they going to which of their children they were going to watch, the parade or the event at the high school. It just was I don't know, no-win situation there. I got so many hateful comments on Facebook page, although
it.
I don't believe it's ever right to verbally abuse someone like that on Facebook, like kind of the brunt that I received. Um, I did unknowingly make a poor decision and I had to own it. So I ended up, well, I felt awful and it was embarrassing because it was such a public faux pas there. So I wrote a letter to the public and um, we put it on Facebook because that's where most of the vitriol was coming from. And um, in the end, because of the way I handled it, though, I earned the respect of the village president, the village leaders for how I handled it. And a lot of people were on my side as far as um, feeling bad that I had received such hate speech over the whole thing.
Mhm.
So I certainly learned to, in that sense, um, I I was reinforced with the fact that owning a mistake is very important and not trying to blame it on somebody else. Really, I mean, I did have a group of people that helped me, but I couldn't blame it on somebody else. It was all, it fell on me. But I also learned not to ever postpone a parade, but just to cancel it
Yeah,
totally. That would have been a whole lot better than what
yeah,
I did. But I think it has served me well in that whole incident has served me well because I think it caused me to earn respect from the leaders in the village because of how I handled it. And I think that has been some groundwork for earning that and maintaining that respect.
sure. Yeah. Wow. Well, well, learning experiences is always good. And, with the John Maxwell team, John talks about, he said, experience is not the best teacher, right? He says, evaluated experience is the best teacher, right? When we take the
Yes.
time, audience, to think about an experience that we went through, what worked well, what didn't work well, what things we learned from it, and what things we could do differently and better the next time. That's the philosophy that we use at the John Maxwell team. So if, let's say, someone wanted to get in contact with you, they want to follow you, where are you located on social media so that they could follow you or get in contact with you about your business?
So I do have a Facebook account, and it's under my name, Dawn Brummel, and I have an Instagram account. I do have a LinkedIn account. I have been very awful about my social media accounts because I'm not a big social media, but that is something I do plan on changing once I get out of this other job where I have to do a lot of social media stuff. And it's not really a 40-hour-a-week job. It's more than that, which is why I need to let it go. But anyways, Facebook, Instagram, that's where, until I get the website up and going, that's where that people will find what I'm doing.
All right. So you can look her right up on Facebook, Dawn Brummel, and reach out to her. More to come from Dawn in her business as she continues with her transition from her corporate job, 9-to-5 job, and now she's going to move into her passion. We know that, the journey to becoming an entrepreneur is never easy, right? You have peaks, and then you have valleys and valleys and valleys, and then you might have another peak. You have those, right? So
Yeah.
What are 2 or 3 pieces of information or advice that you would share with someone considering becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I think the first thing is finding that something that you're passionate about, because I think being an entrepreneur is not easy. And even the little bit that I've done so far, unless you're really passionate about it, you got to have a reason to get up and do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And if just because someone else is passionate about it and does really well at it, doesn't mean that it's right for you. So it's got to be something you're passionate about it. And that will help motivate you. I think another thing is to get as much knowledge about it as possible. For me, I continue to learn a lot. I'm so grateful for the John Maxwell team that I'm on, because my goodness, I've never seen a platform that has so many opportunities and curriculums, I should say, and ways that I can get into to grow personally, but grow in helping others. So, getting a way to keep learning about what you're doing, regardless of what it is. And then to find someone who cares about it and will walk the journey with you, whether it's a mentor or a coach, whatever, but someone that's going to be there to pump you up, even if it's just that cheerleader that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all need cheerleaders from time to time, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, Dawn, it's amazing, but this time is just like passing by fast. But I have a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So we all like to go on vacation. Especially, you said, "Hey, I want to own a private island so that I can take my family to that island." But if you had to think of your favorite vacation spot, what is it, or where is it, and why is that?
It's kind of sad. We haven't taken very many vacations like that through the years. We didn't when I was growing up. We didn't have a lot of money, and as a pastor's family, we haven't had a ton. But one that we took, I loved going out to the Rockies. In Colorado. We went out there for a pastor's getaway. And so I would say I loved the mountains. They were refreshing and just gorgeous, being able to see God's creation. So the mountains were certainly, and I grew up in the mountains too, in West Virginia. So I love the mountains.
So you're a West Virginia girl.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right. So my final question for you, Dawn, is this: if there was a book that was written about you, not by you, but written about you, what would the title of the book be, and what would the summary in the back of the book say about you?
So I was glad that this is at least one of the questions that you did ask me ahead of time, because I'm not sure that I could have answered this one, because I had to spend a long time thinking about this. And of course, my deadline was this morning. So last night I'm trying to figure that whole thing out, so the more I thought about it, I just, I have to ask first. So are you looking for the title of a book? So you're asking me this, so you're just trying to figure out some good options for a bio? You're going to steal this from anybody you ask it from.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
All right. No, I don't know for sure, but from what I was thinking on this, I'm going to say, maybe it might be called from nobody to somebody. And I'm sure they would be much more eloquent than me and how they would write something on the back of it. But I'll just give you the gist of where I'm coming from with that. And whoever writes it can, say it however they would want. But in general, when I was growing up, I felt like a nobody. I wanted to be somebody, but I just always felt like a nobody. And with whether it was being rebuffed by the teacher or being made fun of by a friend, which happened a lot, and still wanting to be somebody, I didn't really think that I was anybody. And Mark Cole, he's the CEO of the John Maxwell Group, the John Maxwell team, and he has said on numerous occasions that we all are here because we've stood on the shoulders of somebody else that's got us to where we are. And along the way, I've grown, I've changed. So I want to be somebody who helps somebody else. So I don't need to be somebody famous, but I want to be somebody who provides the shoulder for somebody else to get where they need to go. I want to be somebody that's just totally immersed, totally sold out, totally invested, totally pursuing all that God has for me, because he knows what potential I have. And I want to be so invested in it that I become the somebody that God wants for me. And that along the way, I've helped I've been that somebody. You've heard the song, "We All Need Somebody to Lean On." And I want to be somebody that others have been able to lean on, that I've helped them reach their full potential.
Wow. So you're talking about being a transformational leader.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Well, that's always awesome and phenomenal. And we definitely understand about this transformation and transformational leaders, and they are the ones that make a big difference, right?
Yes.
We know that John says it. Transformational leaders are people who want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference, doing something who makes a difference at a time that it makes a difference, right?
Oh,
but when
yeah,
you
love
first said it, it reminded me of a song. It says, "I'm just a nobody."
Yes, I love that.
Everybody about somebody.
I've listened to that thing over and over. I love that song.
Yes, so that's awesome. I would sing it, but my voice is not ready tonight, right?
Oh, thank you. I think. I don't know. I've never heard you sing. You might be great even if your voice isn't ready.
Yeah, no, no, you would just.
We can sing it together, but maybe we would
okay.
destroy our careers.
Yeah, that's what happened. They say they broke the internet.
Yes. Absolutely.
Wow. Well, Dawn, it has been a pleasure to have you on Talk Leadership with Cedrick.
Thank you. I've enjoyed being here.
Well, awesome. I enjoyed it as well. So, audience, I want you to make sure that you hit share on this. If you're listening on LinkedIn or you're listening on Facebook, hit share. If you're on YouTube, then go ahead and hit the like button, right? And tell somebody about this interview with Dawn. I know she said some things that will help you. Maybe it won't even help you. It might help someone else. You know, we're put on this earth to not necessarily just get all the information and hold it to ourselves. We're put on this earth to be carriers of information and share it with other people. So what I want you to do is to hit the share button, tag someone on this. Someone you may know is thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, and Dawn's story about becoming an entrepreneur and leaving her corporate job. And you may know someone that's a mother that is struggling to find who she is. And you may have heard Dawn at the beginning says she homeschooled her children and they moved once the children grew up and to get outside their comfort zone. You may know someone that needs to hear that story because they need that change in their life. So what I want you to do is to hit the like and the share button, tag them on this message. You know, some people dream of success and some make it happen. Your job is to make it happen for somebody else. So be the carrier and the vessel to share this message with someone else. Now, folks, I want you to remember that on Thursday night, we have Talk Leadership with Cedrick, Thursday edition. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and we bring it to you on Thursday as well. So make sure you tune in. I'm going to have a young lady, Miss Brittany Matthews, on, and come and hear her story, her journey to entrepreneurship. She's a college athlete and how she's into entrepreneurial space. Come and hear Miss Brittany Matthews. All your Houston folks, Fort Bend folks, come out here and hear your girl on the show. Now, remember, also on Friday, we're going to have Friday Mental Motivation. You know, we bring it to you hard and heavy early Friday morning, 8:30 Friday morning. We come in with 15 minutes of pain for Friday mental motivation to help you get ready to start your weekend. You're going to end the week out great and have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. We are just here to try to help people go from ordinary to extraordinary. And we know the only difference between ordinary and extraordinary is extra. Now, for you educators out there, I know the word is extraordinary. I'm an educated man, right? I understand it, but I don't like that word. I like extraordinary. You see, you got to be different. You got to get outside your comfort zone to have that type of mindset and thinking. So thank you guys again for tuning in tonight. And as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you guys and good night.